Man, it's July 16th, 2026. And I think it's just really hit me that the New York Knicks are NBA champions of the world. Of the world. Master Bruce CB, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, just Master Bruce Instagram. Like every time I turn on ESPN, every time I turn on a sports show and they're talking about basketball, they have to acknowledge that the New York Knicks are champions of the world. That's mind-boggling, man. It's mind-boggling. When I first started making content about the Knicks, I labeled it as Knicks Therapy. That's what the playlist is called. Knicks Therapy. And that's genuinely what it was. It was therapeutic to get the thoughts out about the pain, the anguish of watching the Knicks lose, watching the Knicks fail me time after time. I came into this world being disappointed by the Knicks, basically. The Knicks had a long stint of not having a ring. It was many moons since they won a ring. Now, it wasn't a drought that was, I'm not just gonna give me. But the New York Knicks let me down with the Patrick Ewing finger roll. Yes, I was old enough to at least understand the pain. I didn't quite understand the magnitude of the moment. I didn't quite understand the magnitude of the moment when I was a young pup. You know what I'm saying? Young guy like back then. I didn't understand the magnitude of the moment. But as time went on, as time got worse, I did watch the Spurs 1999 finals in pure disgust, knowing that we didn't really have a chance. I was young. I had a childlike sense of wonder, but I still knew we didn't have a chance. And to sit back, and now I'm walking around the crib, memorabilia. The New York Knicks have championship memorabilia. The New York Knicks, I'm in the crib with New York Knicks championship memorabilia. That's the picture. It's a small version of that big championship memorabilia. And it's just beautiful. Jalen Brunson, championship memorabilia. Jalen Brunson, what he's done for the city, what he's done for the state, what he's done for New York Knicks culture. You need a statue. You need a statue. The most beautiful thing about it is for years, the New York Knicks overpaid guys at the end of their career when they already were successful with someone else, when they already made their name somewhere else. And finally, the New York Knicks were early to the party. Finally, the New York Knicks didn't have to beg a guy to come. There was a guy that wanted to be there. Did we hire his dad? Yes, we did. We did. Is his agent the son of our basketball of operations? He is. It happened like that. But again, he wanted to be there. We didn't have to pull his arm. Now, granted, we gave him more than anybody wanted to give him. But that's how you got to play sometimes. The fact that the Knicks were early on the investment. You know how many times I had to watch the New York Knicks sign a guy that was too passive? I don't want to disrespect anybody, so I don't want to bring up any pain. But if you've been watching basketball, you know the New York Knicks made a lot of decisions that made you say, what? They did what? They gave who what? I don't know. Listen, I know I said I wasn't going to say a name. Joakim Noah. Everybody knew he was done. And the Washington Wizards. And that's another thing about the old New York Knicks. The whole league was colluded against us. I would take it to my grave saying it. The whole NBA was colluding against the Knicks. The reason being is the New York Knicks had the ability to make money because we were always the most valuable franchise despite the losing, despite the most losses in a 20-year span. I think we even had, if I'm not mistaken, we went a 20-year span and had more losses than the Kings. We were the worst franchise wins and losses wise in a 20-year span. So a lot of pain. So to see the Knicks, again, we get Jalen Brunson at a time where we had to make the playoffs once in 4 years. We had the Atlanta series where we had the Julius Randle year. I want to say it was his second year, first year. when he played really. No, I think it was his second year. Played against went had the 4 seed, played the Hawks and lost, and then we came back the next year, didn't make the playoffs. That's big. Jalen Brunson came at a time where, again, the Knicks were still in transition from being a team that really was doing something and meant something and a flash in the pan. Because at that time, again, we only had a 2 good seasons in the midst of all that. Jalen Brunson came 45 with a hurt wrist. I know I'm jumping around. 45 in a championship game with a hurt wrist. Man, he needs surgery. He got surgery. He scored 45, the team scored 49. New York Knicks, man. Mikal Bridges, big time. Mikal Bridges is big time. I'm gonna give Mitchell Robinson his own video, so I'm gonna touch on that, But New York Knicks, man, like I said, it's just surreal to sit back and again watch sports talk and be able to say something about basketball, but like, hey, your team look good, but you gotta beat the Knicks. Your team look hot, but you gotta beat the Knicks. You still gotta beat the Knicks. And that's just crazy to think and crazy to say. I'm living in a world where the New York Knickerbockers are the best in the world. Love to see it. More coming. Master Bruce CB. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Just Master Bruce Instagram. Hey, New York Knickerbockers is real.